Dear students, in this video, we will try to understand the theme and central idea of the poem The Village Blacksmith. So let's read the poem once again. Under a spreading chestnut tree, the village smithy stands. The smith, a mighty man he is, with large and sinewy hands, and the muscles of his brawny arms are strong as iron bands. So we see this poem describes about a village blacksmith and about his daily life and how he balances his role in his job and as a member of the family and community. So in the first stanza, poet tells us about the blacksmith who is very strong and he stands under a chestnut tree and does his work. His hands are very strong and the poet uses simple comparison to compare his hands with iron bands. His hair is crisp and black and long. His face is like the tan. His brow is wet with honest sweat. He earns whatever he can. He looks the whole world in the face, for he owes not any man. In the second stanza, the poet gives us the description of how the blacksmith's hair look, and he tells us that he has long and black crisp hairs. Now the next thing what he tells us is about his face, and that his face is brownish and tan. The poet says that the blacksmith's brow is wet with honest sweat. So this means he is a hard-working person and his earning is of honesty, and also that he is a confident person as he does not owe anything to any person. Week in, week out, from morn till night, you can hear his bellows blow. You can hear him swing his heavy sledge with measured beat and slow like sexton ringing the village bell when the evening sun is low. The poet has all the praise for hard work and labor done by the blacksmith, which he does from morning to evening and week after week. The sounds of his sledge is like the sound of village bell. The poet describes about the bellows of the blacksmith, which you can see in the picture. It is an equipment which is used to push air into the fireplace to keep the fire going on. So there is a constant sound which is roaring from the bellows. And children coming from school look in at the open door. They love to see the flaming forge and hear the bellows roar. In the next stanza, poet tells us how the school children of the village have curiosity and they admire the village blacksmith. They love to see him working, and also they enjoy listening to the sound of blacksmith's bellows. And catch the burning sparks that fly like chaff from a threshing floor. Children also love to see the sparks of fire which is produced when the blacksmith does his work, and those sparks of fire appear to be like flying husks during the threshing procedure. He goes on Sunday to the church and sits among his boys. He hears the parson pray and preach. He hears his daughter's voice singing in the village choir, and it makes his heart rejoice. In this stanza, poet tells us about his personal and family life. How on Sunday the blacksmith visits the church and goes for a prayer. His daughter sings in the church choir and he likes to hear her sing. It sounds to him like her mother's voice singing in paradise. He must think of her once more, how in the grave she lies, and with his rough hand, he wipes a tear out of his eyes. In this stanza, we come to know about blacksmith's wife, who is no longer alive, and his daughter, when sings in the church choir, he feels that it is the voice of her mother. And then the blacksmith thinks of his wife and how she has been lying in the grave. It makes him very sad, and tears roll down his eyes, and he wipes them. Toiling, rejoicing, sorrowing, onward through the life he goes. Each morning sees some task begin. Each evening sees it close. Something attempted, something done. He earned a night's repose. In this stanza, the poet summarizes the daily life of blacksmith and how he balances his personal life and his work, and is a very useful part of his community. He spends his life working hard and still stays very happy. He has sad times, but still he is able to face the sad times also. He keeps moving ahead in his life. Each morning starts something new and finishes some work, and takes rest at night after getting fully tired. The honest hard work which he does gives him peaceful sleep at night. Thanks to thee, my worthy friend, for the lesson thou hast taught. Thus, at the flaming forge of life, our fortunes must be wrought. This on its sounding anvil shaped each burning deed and thought. The last stanza of the poem is definitely the most important one, in which the poet thanks the blacksmith for teaching him a very important lesson in life, and that is based on blacksmith's life and personality. The poet Longfellow tells us how the village blacksmith never feels shy from any work, and he is determined in his work and in his commitment to his family and community. And eventually, he has a very balanced life despite some sad incidents in his personal life. And he is a role model for the poet and for others in the society. Blacksmith teaches us how we can give shape to our thoughts and ideas in the real world. And by giving a shape to our thoughts and ideas, we will be able to build a good fortune for ourselves, like the blacksmith does.